Okay. In the last session, we have created a simple GUI form in C Sharp, and then we learned how to work with text boxes and how to write simple expression to calculate some mathematical result. So those we have done right now. In that C Sharp programming journey, we are going to attempt a next step or a next goal. Toward that, we are going to move now. So as far as the last session is concerned, we are able to compute only one record. That means if you can feed a item name, a rate, and quantity, and then when we leave the quantity field, automatically the amount will be calculated by multiplying rate and quantity. So why we are doing these very simple examples? The reason behind that is when you do something practical, only then you will be master in certain things. So instead of learning syntax, this is what, that, like that won't make our life very easier. We won't get interest as well. So when we do, even it is very simple, you start with an example, you start with a project, then you start learning it right now. So if you do so, you will have at least a real-time hands-on experience that will make you to survive. Otherwise, that will help you to get job. That is the ultimate goal. So in that journey, the next thing is we are going to learn about buttons, and then and another new software designing technique. Okay, now as far as the current implementation is concerned, it just accept an item name and rate and quantity and compute the amount. That is what happening now, right? Let me just run the form and show you what is going on now. From there, we will move to the next step. I have given enough introduction about this tool, Visual Studio, and why we are doing this sample application, everything in the last session. Those who didn't walk through, or those who didn't go through those sessions, kindly go through that, and then only it will be very easy for you to understand. Okay, now this is the form that we created in the last session, or a simple application that we created in the last session. The goal of the application is it will get item name, rate, and quantity, and will compute the amount automatically. Right now, by multiplying rate and quantity, it will compute the amount. But we won't, when we go to grocery stores and we buy something, we won't buy only one item. We will buy more than one item, right? No, usually that used to happen, right? So if that is the case, how can I do that? Because we have only one item name, one rate, one quantity, but I want to buy 10 items and want to compute the total amount of all those items that I bought. Right now, the rate multiplied quantity for all those items to be computed. Finally, I need to get a grand total. That means the total of amounts. So that I need. How can we achieve that in the software? So that we are going to learn now, right now. So for that, what we need in order to achieve that, we have to take a backup right now. So whatever the records that we are typing here should be stored somewhere. So only then we can read it right now. So today, so this is our application that we have developed. Now, from here, we are going to first we have to store the data. Every time when we enter a record, we have to store it in some storage place. For that, in C Sharp, we have something called as data table. We have something called as, there are many ways, data sets and all database we can use. We can store it in a text file. Like that, we can do different things. One among them, we are going to use, oh yeah, there is an option called data table. So in that table, we will store our entries, whatever entries that we have here now, we will store them in that table. Later, we will take them and then we'll display them as a record in a data grid view. There is something called as data grid view. See here in this toolbox, we have data grid view and we also have data table. Maybe I think data grid view is data table is part of data set. That's why they are not displaying it. So we are going to use that. And then when we want to add, see, we have added one record. We want to add a new record means we have to clear these fields and then have to store what we recorded, what we typed before in these field to the table right now. To make that action, to execute that action, we are going to maintain a button. We are going to maintain a button called add. I want to call this button as add button. See, previously we did not have any button here right now. So we newly introduced a button, command button called add. So using this button, we are going to add records one by one right now. So after adding the records, we want to modify, we used to modify sometimes when we enter something wrong, we will modify that. For that, we are going to add a new button called update or edit right now. I call this button as update button. And the text that is going to be displayed here is update. Right. Finally, we are going to, when we want to delete some records, we should have option to delete that one. So for that, because sometimes we will enter wrong, we will pick wrong products and then that should not be included in the bill. If that was the case, we want to delete that record so that we have delete record here. And I call this button as delete button. Right. So we have fields here and then we have three buttons here. See, let us initially ensure that our previous implementation is working. Then we will proceed for new addition. So here I type milk and then rate is some 45 rupees. Quantity is we are going to get 10. So we are getting 450 right now. So that is working. So as of now, our previous implementation is working right now. So when I click add button, that should be recorded in a table right now. So Ryan, are they teaching you tables in school? 2 2s are?
4.
2 8s are?
16.
16. Okay, brilliant. Like that, we have a tables, right? In school, we are teaching, they are teaching label to us, no? So like that, we have tables here as well, right? So we have a tables here as well, so that we can store our records, whatever that we are typing here, no? In that table. For that, we have to create a table first. We have to create a table first.
Table.
Right. So let me create a table. I create a global table. Are you getting? So here, this is a global declaration of a table, right? We have declared a table. After that, a table used to have columns. What column is used to have? So we have to have a column called item name. In that, we have to put the item name. We should have a column called rate. In that, we have to put rate right now. Similar way, Ryan, turn off your camera. So you turned your camera on. Right. So we should have item name in one field and rate in one field, quantity in one field and amount in one field. So these are one columns in our table right now. So for that, we have to create columns now. We will start from ID. So because everything should have a serial number, no? That is called as ID. New we'll call this as ID, comma, type of int. Hamza, do you have any doubt? Is it
No,
understandable? No doubts?
no.
Are,
Yes,
are you able to understand it?
yes.
Okay. Right now, what we are doing now? Can you tell me?
Seeing phone.
You are seeing phone. What we are doing? That means what we are doing means what program that we are doing now? We are trying to create columns right now. In a table, we are trying to create columns right now. So
Okay.
column, we are net data column, item name, new data column. We call this as item name, and we consider the data type of that one as string. Right. Type of int. Right. And then IT, item name, rate, and then item QTY. Ryan, when you speak, only then you have to turn on your mic. Otherwise, keep it in mute right now. So otherwise, we'll get a lot of noise. So then, so don't think that, see, this is a little bit complex. We do not understand. You no need to understand anything. The thing is just you see what happens and try to interrupt in the way that you understand right now. Later, we will slowly improve. It is not one day activity. The learning programming is not one day activity. It need a time. It need a hard work. It need a practice. Only then you can become a programmer. It's not we cannot become a program within one day. So initially, I want you all to observe what I am doing and see what is happening and how we are trying to achieve things. Only then, over a period of time, you have to live in this environment to understand what is going on. Only then you can do it your own, right now. Right. So in that type, Asia, do you understand? Come on.
Yes,
What we are doing now?
writing query for tables.
Is it a query? No, we are creating columns in table. See, here we have declare a table, right? So the table means we are going to maintain a table of records. For that, we are creating tables. And then in that table, what are the columns should be there? Let me explain you using a simple paint so that you will understand. See, Amza is going to a grocery shop right now. So he's going to grocery shop. He is buying the things as we okay, let me Maximize it. I believe, Hamza, you are seeing right now. So he is going to a grocery shop and he is buying items, right? Let me just when he is buying, every item will have a serial number, no, because the grocery shop owner, no, he will write one serial number, and then what, um, like he bought like what is that? Hamza is buying rice, right? Rate of the rice is, he will write rate. So for of 65 rupees.
75.
Okay, then 10 kgs is buying. So what he will do, he will multiply even the quantity, he will put like here, he will put that as a multiplication. That is how the grocery shop owner will do. And then he will say 650, right? And then Hamza is buying oil. And then oil, I think 125 rupees, even for a gold refinery oil, right now. That is buying for some 10 packets. So 1250 right now. Right. Finally, the grocery shop owner will put a total, right, by adding these two. So what will be the result? Here we get 0 and then we get another 0 because it is 10. So this become already 8, 6 plus 2, 8 plus 1, 9. And then we will get 1900, right? Is that correct? What, Hamza? Is the total correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So he has prepared, the grocery shop owner has prepared a table now, right now. So we can divide them into columns. Right. See, this column, I can name this column as serial number. This column as item name. That is item he bought. And then this column as rate. This column as quantity. And this column as amount, that is rate multiplied by, right now. We can name like that, right? Yes or no, Asia? Serial number, item name, rate, quantity, amount, like that we can divide this table into columns, yes or no? Come on.
Yes, yes.
Right now. Tasneem, can we do so? Tasneem, can we do so? Mahi,
Yes,
we can do, no?
we can do.
We can do, right? That is what we are doing. Initially, we are creating a table to store the records, and then we are creating columns: ID, item name, item rate. See, whatever that we discussed here, no. So whatever we discussed here, right? This is what we are doing it in program. That's all. We just create this one, like we just create columns for a table. We create a table here, and then we created columns here, right? So the columns are ready now. Now we have to add records. Add records. What records we have to add? See, when I click this add button, we have to, in the table, this is the table. No, we created the table, we created the column. If we don't enter records, it will be empty right now. So we have to add a 1 and then rise, and then rate is 65, quantity is 10, amount is 650. We have to add that. After adding it, what we have to do? We have to store these records to the table, right? That is how we have to do. For that, what we are doing, we are going to write a event handler. That means when I click this add button, you have to add that to add that to these columns in the table. Right now, you have to add these entry to there. For that, let us write an even handler now. So for that, I have to stop running application. So I come here, we created the column, and we have to add these columns. dt dot add columns dot add. We have to add all these columns like ID, we created columns, right? We are adding that to table. dt dot columns dot add item name dt dot columns dot add item underscore rate dt dot columns dot add item qty dt dot columns dot add amount. Right? We created the columns, we added the columns uh, to the table. Now what we have to do means we have to add the record that we created to this table. For that, dt dot dr data row dr is equal to new data row. Right. dr of id, that means data row of id is equivalent to what we are typing in the text box. So probably it is we have that here now. So come here, and then actually id we are not having. So we are not having that as an entity in the table form. So we are going to compute it. For that, we need a variable here, int id is equal to 0. After that, we are going to, the moment we add a record, we are going to say id plus 1. Right, then dr of item name, I think it is capital I, if I am not wrong. That is how we created the column, no? Yeah, item name. So we are populating them from table actually, so from form actually, QTY, QTY, then data row dr is equivalent to new data row. Think we have to declare data row should be declared in such a way that dt.new row. So here the declaration is wrong. dt.new row. Right. After that, we added quantity and dr of amount is equal to, you're taking that from the form. But item name, rate, quantity, amount, all of them are integer in our table. So we have to convert them. Convert dot to in 32 because we have to convert them into whole number. Right now. So again here, convert dot to in 32. So now we have assigned all the data that we have in the table to data row of fields. Now we have to add this data row to, I think we have dt dot, I think it is added, I believe. We are adding that one. After adding it, we just we added, right? So we have to see what we added to in the form right now, whether our addition is successful or not, that we have to see. For that, I am bringing a data grid view here. Right, this data grid view will get the data from that table, right? So now I am coming here back to programming. Here I say data grid view v1 dot data source. That means this data grid view going to get data from dt. So that is the data table. So that whether whatever that we added, no, that we will see. So we can, while we are doing it, it's good that, okay, let us check whether our addition is working now. See, I am adding whatever that we have now in this paint, what we have, rice, right, rice, and then rate is 65 rupees, quantity 10, amount is 650. The moment I click here, it is added here right now, but we are getting very empty fields. We get IDs and other stuff, IT, item name, rate, quantity, everything, but the data is not added right now. So maybe we are making a mistake. dr dt dot add rows dot add dr. I think we have to add this data row. So now let us see. Let me stop the application. So I save that and then run it back. So I add milk again. Sorry, rice 65 rupees is the rate, quantity is 10, and amount is automatically calculated. I hit add. Now we got it. Yes or no? ID we have one, rice, rate, quantity, amount. Everything is displayed in the table. What, Amza? Is that happens or not? Right?
Yes, right.
Isa, do you understand now what is happening? Can you explain me what we are doing here? What we have done up to now? Come on. Isa, why you turned off the mic? Asia, could you explain what we have done up to now? Asia. Asia, are you there?
Yes, I understood.
What you understood? Tell me. Come on.
If we enter the item name and price and quantity, automatically it will add and tell that total of the bill.
But total of the bill, where we have total of the bill? See, we have we just total of the bill, the total amount is not yet displayed. That is one thing. Only amount is displayed. See, whatever the first item that he bought, no, who? Amza. That is coming in the first row of the table, right? Yes or no? Come on, all of you.
Yes.
Right now, that is coming. Now we have to add additional record. We have to add additional record. Yes or no? We have to go for a next record. Right. What is next record as per the BMP that we have? The next record is oil. Right now, we have to add oil. So, but when I try to add oil, we already have something there. We already have rice there, right? If I want to add oil, I have to delete every field. Yes or no?
Update.
I have to delete oil, rice. I have to change the rice to oil. You will do like this only, no? Yes or no? Right. But this is time consuming. So what we are going to do, we are going to use a logic now. We are going to use a programming technique. The programming technique is moment I successfully add the record to the table, the moment I complete the task, I want to clear all these fields. I want to clear all these fields. Can we achieve that? Yes, we can do so. Where to write program for that? Because as we are want to go for a new record, when you want to add a new record, for that the field should be ready. So what we're doing after adding one successful record, we clear all these fields. How to do that? Let us try now. So this is the add button. No, here what I am doing, I just clear all these fields, item name. So we can write a function because we may use it in different places. So for that, void public void clear record, clear fields. So we can clear them. And then we have item quantity. Item name, item rate. Quantity. Finally, amount. Right? So I just call this function after I adding a record. Right? So let me run the program now. So what happens the moment we stop and run, every records are gone. Okay, now. So now let me add again milk. No, rice, no. Rice, 65 rupees. Quantity is 10. And then we are adding the record. The record is added now. Right. And then again, we go for a second item. See, the moment I add it, these fields are cleared, right? Right. So now I am adding oil. Rate is 125. I think we are taking it for 5 or 10. If I'm not wrong, it is 10. Yes. 10 packets. See, when we do like that, this here we have to get 2 only, no? Yes or no? Come on, Asya. See, ID, first serial number is 1. Second serial number should be 2, right? Mahi. Yes or no?
Yes.
But it is showing 1 only. Why it is showing 1? Because we didn't increment. So the moment we add one record successfully, we have to increase the ID value to 1. So I do ID plus plus. That means I'm incrementing. If I do like that, every time when I add a new record, I will get a new serial number. That is how the grocery shop owner also will do. One, rice, rate, quantity, and amount. Then 2, oil, like that only he will put right now. So we are bringing that to programming now. So by incrementing the ID. So let me stop and run and see whether that is working now. So item name is rice, the rate is 65 rupees, and then quantity is 10, and amount is right now. 10 only, no?
Yes.
Right. So then you add. So when I add it, I get one ID, one rice, like that. All the data are there. Right. So now I am going for a new record. Now my new record is oil. Oil rate is 125 rupees. The quantity is again 10 and the amount is 1250 and I am adding. The moment I add now, I get new ID. Right. New ID, everything. Right. It's very great, no? Now we are able to prepare a list by adding the records. We are able to prepare new records right now. Yes or no? So now what we
Yes.
have to do is, now we have one problem. What problem is, we are able to see only 2 fields in this table right now, ID and then item name. Only these two, or maybe if we are minimizing it, we are getting item rate as well. Otherwise, we are unable to see all fields that we have in this table, like quantity, amount, everything. Now, for that, we can make this table to expand when we maximize it. As of now, it is not expanding. It is only sitting here. We can expand the table and can display Ryan, don't scribble. So we can see the entire thing here. Right. For that, what we have to do, let me tell you what we have to do for that. You come here, select this. There is a property for GUI called Anchor. What is that? Anchor property. Right. So here you come and you just select this. When you do so, it will automatically expand. Right? See, now I am adding. Sorry. Yes. Right? We are seeing all fields right now. ID, item name, rate, quantity, amount. Yes or no? Asia.
Yes, yes.
Right. Okay, someone is left. Who is that? Previously we had 7 members, no?
Yes,
Moideen.
7 members.
Ryan left. Hmm? Who left? Okay, no problem. So now I'm adding the second record. Oil rate of oil is 125 rupees and the quantity is 10. Amount is 120. So now we are getting the second amount. So like that, you can add 10 amounts. So I am adding a soap.
Item name.
So like that, we can add items, right? But we have one issue now. Amza, can you find out the total amount of these 3 items? What is that? Asia, can you compute the total item? You can do the mathematical calculation in your notebooks and you can tell me the result.
Yeah, sure.
5, then 5, 12, 13, 3, 5.
4025.
8, 9, 0. Yes, 4,000.
4025.
4,025 right now. So, no. 5 second one. So yes, 4,025 is the result. Now we are doing it manually. No, grocery shop owner will have a calculator. He will put multiplication, addition like that. Finally, he will get the result. But we want to show the result to be up here. We want to show that result in our application itself. So instead of doing a manual calculation, when he enter a new item, automatically it should show the total. It should show the total. How to do that? Okay, we can do it in one way. How means after we add one record, we can compute the total of these amount. We can do like that. For that, what I am going to do, I am going to write a function. I'm going to write a function. That function will compute the total. That function will compute the total. Let me do that now. Or let us write that function first of all. We call that function as public void, otherwise no, public int compute total. Somebody is want to ask something. Hi. Ryan is typing hi. Rayu, don't type anything. Right now. So what we are going to do, we are going to compute the total. Now for that, we are going to use a loop for rider equivalent to 0, rider less than dt is our table name, rows dot count dt, sorry, rider, because we are going to add the total of all rows that we amount of all the rows that we have in the table. For that, I have something called as int total is equal to 0, then total plus equal to, that means total equal to total plus dt dot rows of rider, and field that we want to add is amount. Right, we are adding that, but this should be converted into convert dot to int 32. We have to convert that into integer. Right, that's all. So at the end, we will return that total. Right. So after we add a record where we are doing that addition, we are adding that, we are getting that result here right now. So after doing it, we are calling a function compute total. This function will compute the total. Right, but that total should be placed in a text box right now. For that, we have a text box in our interesting. Okay, we didn't fix that one yet. So let me bring it. There is a, let me stop this one. And we have a text box here. Right, I call this as total. Right, this is like total text box.
Yeah.
Right, the text box is ready now. So we have to place our result here. So for that, that like this dot total text box dot txt is equal to compute total dot toString.
Yeah, that is
Right now. So the result is, now we are, every time when we add new record, we are computing the total. So let me see that now. Item name is rice again, and rate is 65 as per our thing. 650 is the total. Right, then we are adding it. So we got the result. Then we are adding oil. Oil is some rate of oil is 125, and the quantity is 10 again. So we add that result as well. Then we add soap. Soap rate was 85. And do you remember the quantity, Asia? What was the quantity that we put?
25.
25, no. See, 4025, we got the total. Yes or no? So in the application itself, after he entering the data, he is able to see what is the bill value, what is the item the customer bought, and then what is the total amount that the customer should pay to him. Everything he is seeing in the same screen. But we have one problem in this one. What problem? This one should come here only, no? In this place it should come, but it is sitting inside the table itself. That is not good, because after some time we will add more records. When we add more records, automatically this table will grow. When it's growing, it will overlap with this one. So for that, let me fix another GUI technique. Ryan, don't turn on the camera. Right. After doing it, we have this one. No, we have a concept called anchor again. So we have to use anchor. There is anchor. So we have to do these two things, but and how to remove these two. When we do like that, automatically, when you maximize, it will go to the bottom of data grid view. See, when I have like this, it will be here. When I maximize it, automatically it will come here. So that it will look like professionally, it will look at something like that. So let me type the things again. Rice rate is 65 rupees, quantity is 10. I got 650 amount that I got. The first total we have computed, and we have that one. Next item that I am feeding like oil, and then oil is 125. The quantity is 10 again. So we added oil as well. Then the third item is soap, and rate is 85. The quantity is 25, and we add that result as well. Now we are getting it in this place. So when I minimize it, automatically it is showing here. So it looks like very great right now. So today, we can end today's session with this. What we learned today means we have created, that is, we have stored the records that we enter in our forms in a table. We store that. And then we also displayed what we stored in the table to the user. And for when after adding a record, we cleared the fields so that a user can enter the new record. We also made a GUI changes, like when we maximize, it should show entire fields. It should not be display this field with the consistent space, so that we can't see all the fields and the records. Also, we adjusted the GUI to display the total at the right side bottom. Like that, we have made changes. So I want to stop today's session with this. Do you understand all the things that we explained today, all of you?